Hello. Good morning.
No. It's 5:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah. It's always morning. No, it's always morning. It's never
morning
morning
somewhere.
Yeah. So, we got some fun stuff planned for today.
I feel like we say this every episode, but this one's gonna be a little different.
It's always gonna be a little different. We do some different things here.
We have topics, air quotes, but they're not normal topics.
They're not casual topics.
Buckle up. This is gonna be a heavy one.
So,
Housekeeping?
Do
you have any housekeeping? Now.
Stay
I haven't even looked
tuned
at that.
for the 100th episode. We're gonna put that up soon.
It'll go up soon. I promise. We're trying to come up with a name still.
Yeah, we are.
We should probably get right into it.
Okay.
Because we have a lot to cover.
So we've talked often about discussing
We're gonna jump right to our quirk segment.
yes, we're gonna go right to the quirk segment.
We're jumping right to that.
And
Because we got a doozy of a quirk and we at a doozy of a creative writing.
yes.
So we're gonna jump the gun.
So our quirk is finally Mike.
The
And
elusive
yes,
Mike.
We are actually going to talk about
Just
him
so
today.
you know, I'm sure it's all been edited out. But
Oh.
the last 3 episodes we've tried to talk about Mike and we haven't.
It just doesn't happen. So we're gonna go right into that because Mike needs the attention.
He does. he's a bit of an attention hog.
Yes, he is. So wow, where to even start?
Where to start? Okay. I'm gonna start with my whole life. I've had. I'm not gonna say I'm not a lucky person because the good things happen to me, but it's the little things. Every little thing that could go wrong in my life always goes wrong.
Yep.
And I've always just lived with it. It's a bit of a handicap, if anything. And I've just lived with it. And then when I got to college, and I had someone constantly around to point out that all these bad things constantly happen to me.
Picking up on
I was like, I guess you're right.
I wish I could remember how it first started, but
I had one really bad day where I
the really
almost
bad day.
fell
I remember
down
the really bad
stairs.
day.
I caught someone falling down the stairs.
You left your
I left my Clipper
lanyard
card
in some class and you went searching for it.
Yeah,
You got it.
It was a whole thing. I did. I had one really bad day, which I think was what started the conversation.
And then I was just a little more in tune, and I was like, you know what? You got some issues.
And then it started rubbing off on you.
Yeah, it did.
Really randomly, you
gave
started.
me your bad mojo.
Which is where this started, because it was how is bad luck contagious? So we were there must be some it was otherworldly force that causes this to happen that has now latched onto you as well.
It was because that we started sharing lots of our lives together.
We lived in the
same room. If we were ever gonna go out and do anything, we would go out together.
Yeah.
So it just started constantly being around you when all the things happened.
Yeah.
So
you knew I wasn't lying.
So naturally, it just started affecting me as well.
And then started affecting you alone.
And then it shifted to affecting me alone. Which, I will say, I've always had a little bit of that too.
Yeah.
He's
always around.
Yeah. Everyone, he pokes around everyone. He just really, really loves to mess with you.
Love you. Thanks.
Mine has always mainly been just I rarely have much going on in my life. I don't have a lot of busyness ever. Sure. I guess my life now is different, but growing up, it was always the one constant thing happening. And then whenever I had more than one thing happening, they would always butt heads and get in each other's way, overlapping schedules or something.
Sure.
someone invited me to their Sweet 16, giant Sweet 16 party, and it'd be like, yeah, that's the day of my recital.
It's little things like
where,
that.
like, I don't have anything going on any other weekend for, like, those 2 months of stuff, and then, like, 3 things happen on the same day.
It's nothing
kind of
like,
my main one.
Yeah, it's never anything, like, really bad. It's just inconvenient.
Yup.
And it's the little things where you're like, that, it was so easily could have gone well, and it didn't.
And it's just that feeling of, like, okay, fine.
But so when it started rubbing off on you, we were like, bad luck isn't, like, contagious. How is this happening? We were like, it has to be some other, like, worldly force.
It's not a luck thing.
And we were, like, joking.
It's an entity.
We were joking about it, but we were like, there has to be some, the key word here is entity.
Yes,
There's got to be some, like, entity up above that's, like, controlling this, and he's now latched onto you. And so we had this entity.
Yep.
That we started referring to as the entity.
Yes, just the entity.
And anytime, like, it's stuff like, you'd get in the shower, and there'd be no hot water.
Yup.
And then you'd swap showers, like, 3 or 4 times, and then you'd finally find the warm shower, and you'd realize that you forgot your shampoo. Like, your shampoo was down in the room. And then so you go get your shampoo, and you come back up, and somebody's in that shower.
Yep.
Like, it's stuff like that. It's just inconvenient. But so, whenever anything like that would happen, because it would happen, like, every other day, just the little things.
Like,
and every time that would happen now, we'd be like, thanks. Like, the entity. Thanks.
So it just started... Our awareness definitely didn't help. Because now we just felt this energy.
And you could just tell.
Every time.
You could tell it was there.
And, like, you'd wake up one day and you would feel it a little more than you usually do, and you'd be like,
uh-oh. And then something would go wrong. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
But, so, this happened all of freshman year. Fast forward to spring break. We were going to New York.
We were like, oh, you know, it'd be fun.
We're in college.
Our adult lives that we have now, because we're 18 and we're adults.
We're in college. We can be independent. We both like Broadway.
we were like, let's go to New York. We planned a New York trip.
It isn't important that you know this, but it's important to me. We were going to see an actor because we really like the Broadway show Heathers, and he was in Heathers.
Yeah.
But we weren't seeing Heathers, we were just seeing something else he was in. But we were going, like, for him. We love him. Evan Todd.
Yeah, his name's Evan Todd.
He's a good boy.
And we had been obsessing over Heathers for months.
That was like that was our first real bonding experience. It was Heathers, which is weird.
Wow.
That's weird.
It really was.
Yeah.
But we
really like this actor.
Really, really obsessed with that actor.
And he's so sweet.
He's so sweet and awesome and cool. He's a great guy.
He's got a really
so
cute
we're like,
dog.
we're gonna go support him. And he was
in this new show.
It was the Carole King musical. It was
the beautiful.
Absolute worst musical we could have seen.
Yeah, it wasn't like a musical. It was just a play with her songs in it.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was good, though. It was, like, better than I expected it to be.
No, yeah.
It was enjoyable.
It was definitely enjoyable, for sure. It's Broadway. It was great.
Yeah.
There were just other things I would have
We could have seen Harry Potter. We could have seen Dear Evan Hansen, Wicked. We could, but
anything.
We saw this. Which was fine. We wanted to go to see Evan. I didn't know anything about Carole King. I knew her name.
I didn't even know she was a thing.
I don't think I did either. But we were like, we're going for Evan. So, we'll do this real quick. Basically.
Get to the theater.
Whoa,
okay.
Like, the day before... Okay. Well, first of all, like, way back.
Oh.
We were supposed to go on, like, a Tuesday.
Just to make it real.
Yeah.
Drive it home.
You gotta know. You have to know the whole story. We were supposed to go on, I think it was the Tuesday of spring break. And it just happens that there was a, like... crazy nor'easter snowstorm happening.
And our bus got canceled.
Our bus got canceled, so we had to, like, call...
the hotel? We weren't going... Yeah, we weren't staying in a hotel. We
had to call and cancel our tickets to Broadway. We had to cancel our bus ride home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all this stuff, we were freaking out, but, like, we really wanted to go. We were really excited, and we didn't think we were going to get refunds for the tickets, because Broadway is very... no refunds, no exchanges.
Very,
And, long story short.
But we rescheduled the bus.
But that was very, very stressful. Because we thought we were going to lose a ton of money.
Awful.
We thought we weren't going to be able to go. It was terrible. But so, yay! Happy ending, we get to go.
We get up at 6 in the morning to go get on
I got up
the
way
train.
earlier than that. Because my train, I think, like, we were both going to take a train
into Boston. Because then the bus was from Boston.
Our bus was leaving from South Station. So, I think our bus was at 10. And so...
I feel like it might have been earlier.
Might have been earlier. But so the train that made the most sense for me to take was at, like, 6 a.m. It was like a 6:30 departure, I think. So I had to, like, get up, pack my junk.
You got there before me.
I got there way before you. I was there for, like, an hour alone. Like, walking around South Station. Yeah, I was gonna say mine was probably,
like, 7.
I'm just walking around South Station by myself at 6 in the morning. But so I probably got into Boston by, like, 7. This is all too much information. But...
it is, but
so
we do that.
I was at South Station alone for, like, probably an hour. And so I, like, walked around for a bit, and then I sat down, and I was just on my phone. And then... Evan, the Broadway boy, had posted on Instagram about doing he was, like, guest teaching at a theater school. He was, like, doing a special,
which is, like, that's,
seminar thing.
Yeah, so cool.
Good for him. Like, that's awesome.
That's great.
He talked about doing that. But it was the next day. It wasn't, like, that day. It was the next day. And it was in Florida. And I was like, okay.
He's gonna have to rush there in
Weird.
the morning.
He was gonna have to, like, take a plane right after our show.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh. Anyway.
So I get there. We get on the bus.
You get there and I go, I gotta tell you something. It might be nothing, but I think Evan, there's, like, a 5% chance Evan might be in Florida right now.
And so we were just like, oh, weird. Can you imagine?
Imagine that. Anyway. And we moved on, and we took our bus. We
got to New York. We wandered
Well, first
around.
of all, the bus was, like, branded as, like, it had Wi-Fi, it had, like, big special seating, it was great.
They were like, oh, Wi-Fi and charging stations and cushions. So we were like, oh, okay, you bring your laptop and we can watch some, like, Netflix and stuff.
We can watch, like, we were in the middle of watching a show. And so we were like, we can watch the show on the bus. This is great. So I, like, hauled my laptop and my charger and stuff.
Because it's like, it's a 5 hour?
Yeah. A little more than that, maybe.
Right, because we would, like, stopped at, like, some rest stops and stuff.
So I brought my computer, and my backpack was way heavier because of it. But, naturally, we sit, and the Wi-Fi doesn't work. Yep. And we cannot get it to work.
Nope. And...
like, no matter what we did, the Wi-Fi didn't work.
Yeah, it just wasn't working.
Yeah, so the laptop was useless. I wanted to ask if I could leave it on the bus. I didn't want to carry it around.
But we weren't getting back on that bus.
No, we weren't. So, it's like a 6-hour bus ride or something. And so finally, we get to New York. It was like 3 o'clock.
Oh, I was going to say earlier than that.
Nah, because it was a long bus ride.
Yeah, I guess.
It was probably like 2:30, 3
We're really hungry.
We're starving to death.
We, like, go try and find some food. I needed to pee. I remember we were in Times Square and I went into a Starbucks and they were like, you gotta buy something, so I bought a banana. So I could pee.
But so I'd never been to New York City before.
I'd been a few times.
So we were, like, kind of walking around New York, doing the thing. It was freezing.
It was so cold. Yeah, this was, like, March.
Yeah, it was spring break.
Mid-March, and it was really cold.
And we had just had that crazy nor'easter.
Yeah.
Snowstorm. And so it was so cold. So we were both, like, bundled up.
We were gonna leave late that night, like, get on a bus right after the show.
We had a 10:30 bus.
Yeah.
10:30 p.m. bus home.
So we...
Maybe it was 10 o'clock.
So we...
And our show started at 6 or 7.
Something like
and then went until, like, 9:30. So we were gonna have to, like, haul out of the theater and go right to the bus station.
Oh, we didn't have a hotel.
Yeah, we weren't getting a hotel.
So we had to just, like, walk around until the show started.
Yeah, we had to just lug all of our stuff. There was nowhere to put it.
We found a Barnes & Noble, and we spent it was a really big one, and we spent some time in there. It was great.
It was fun.
It was really
and then the girl at the cash register knew where I was from.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Crazy.
She was like, is that Cohasset hockey? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I'm from Hingham. I was like, whoa, we're in New York City.
In New York.
No one knows what Cohasset is from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But that was wild. But so, it was, like, a nice day.
And then we got dinner right before the show started.
There were things here and there that were just happening. Like, they didn't have, like, the food we wanted at the restaurant.
And, like, you were lugging around that laptop that ended up, we didn't use at all.
It was awful.
But it was, like, really heavy as we were walking around.
But so finally we're going to the theater. And, like, all day we had kind of kept bringing up, we were like, you know, there is a chance he's not gonna be at the show.
But we were like, no.
We were
no,
fully choosing to ignore that thought at all. Because back then even, the entity was totally a thing, and we were like, if the entity hears that we have these thoughts, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So let's just
not
even
we
think.
can't even... When something comes up that's like... talking about something that has a chance of being a bad, we go, no, we are not allowed to speak.
We're not going to talk about this because then the entity will hear and it will happen. So we
finally got to the theater.
We were choosing not to think about it. Think about him not being there. We got to the theater. I'm telling you, a lot more things went wrong, throughout the day, but it's fine.
But this was a while ago. We don't have good memories.
We
were seated at the theater.
We were
got our little
dead
programs.
last row.
Oh yeah.
We were against the wall.
Oh yeah, we're broke college students.
Yep. So we didn't need good seats. We weren't there for the show.
No,
we just needed to see Evan. We were excited that he was there.
Yeah.
So we got the dead last row, backs against the wall. But it was fine. And then naturally, I'm sure you knew this.
We opened the program and there was a little slip inside.
We opened the program and we saw his beautiful face under his name, under the character he was playing. We were so excited.
We were like, it's okay, it's fine,
he's here! And then a little sheet of paper fell out of the program.
And we were like, oh, weird. What's that?
It was just like a little note card, a little business card size piece of paper.
Yep.
And it just said, so-and-so will be filling in the role of so-and-so for Evan Todd.
Understudy.
Moment of silence for our pain.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that happens and we're like,
no. Yeah.
No. We're like, yeah,
this would happen.
So it was a great show.
It was a good show, yeah.
I mean, I didn't care about anything that was happening, but it was well done.
Yep. They had some cool costume design.
You were there. You were doing, you had to do a, essay type thing for some class where you had to talk about it. So you were, taking notes.
Yeah, I was.
They had really, really cool costume changes, and that's all I remember about the show.
And all I know is that every time Evan's character sang, I could only think of him being in that place.
But wait,
Sob story.
The day's not over yet.
It gets so much worse.
So we see the show and we're like, oh, that's such a bummer that he wasn't here.
We were taking pictures with the posters of him outside. We were
like, that's such a bummer. We could have seen something else. Whatever. We made the most of it. It was a Broadway show. It was great. Okay, time to go home. So we have that quick we have an hour or something to rush to the station, and it's a little bit.
We couldn't find the station first. We're like, where are we supposed to go? We don't know where we are.
No,
but we figured it out.
So we ran and we got there and we're like, woof, made it, and everyone's like, it's late, 10 o'clock.
It's the subway, so you have to walk down a bunch of stairs. I know, but this is important. You have to walk down a bunch of stairs, and then there's train platforms that you wait on. And so we got there. I think our bus was at 10. It was 10 or 10:30. Mm. And we got there with 10 minutes to spare. And we were like, nice. Okay. And there were already people lined up.
And we're so tired. We're so ready to sit.
We've both been awake since 6 a.m.
We're so ready to
walking around New York City with a laptop in my backpack.
We're so ready to just get off our feet and just sit down and pass out for this ride home.
Yeah. And we're sitting there.
And it's a little bit past when the bus was supposed to get there, and we're like, oh, that's annoying.
I feel like I need to acknowledge the fact that there was a sign for a Dunkin' Donuts. We were sitting there, and I was looking at that sign, and it said Dunkin' Donuts upstairs, and I was like, I'm so hungry. I'm so tired. All I want is a coffee. I just want a coffee and a donut. But I know the second I walk out of this line, the bus is going to show up. Yep. The second I go to get Dunkin' Donuts.
And we were we need to get seats together.
We need good seats we needed them together.
Yeah. We didn't want to get stuck.
And there were already a ton of people already in line waiting for this bus, so we were like, we should just stay.
Yeah, because you didn't reserve seats for this bus.
No, yeah.
I think you could, pay extra, too, maybe.
I don't even know. But, we're sitting there, and then 10 minutes go by. And then 20 minutes go by. And it's probably a half hour. It's probably 10:45 at this point. And a man comes out.
And everyone in line is sitting there. It's so late. And we're all come on.
My back hurts. I'm tired. I'm hungry.
Been standing there. And we're all right, where's our bus?
And a man comes. And we're oh, cool.
he says, we have the bus, but we don't have a driver. And we all go, what?
We're like, you're Greyhound. How do you not have a driver?
They're like, some schedules got overlapped or something like that. And so we got to wait for another driver to be available. And so...
And we went, okay. He was like, and someone asked, and I was like, how long will it be? And he was like, oh, it won't be too long. It definitely won't be like more than like a half hour. Like, okay.
And we're like, oh, okay, fine.
And he leaves. And then there was a girl in line in front of us.
Yeah.
And she turned around and she said to us, they do this all the time. I guarantee you the bus won't get here until very earliest midnight. And at this point, it's like 10:30, and we're like, oh, there's no way. There's absolutely no way.
That's crazy.
And she's like, okay, but remember I said that.
She was like, I do this a lot.
Yeah, she was like, I take this for work a lot. Yeah, she was like, I take buses for work all the time.
And she was like, this happens all the time. Which is like, girl, why are you still taking this bus?
I know. But we were like, okay, sure, but no. And then it's 11 o'clock. 11:30. And the man comes out again, and he's like, I promise it'll be quick. Like, they're coming, the driver's coming.
And I'd say at this point, maybe. We've, like, sunk into the ground.
We're sitting on the subway floor in New York City.
Just on these tiles, on the ground. And I remember we weren't up against a wall. We were, like, in the middle, because we were, like, in this line with, like, the little, like, ropey, stretchy things along it.
You couldn't lean against anything?
No. So... everyone just slowly kind of started
just sit down.
And we were like, okay, let's
like crisscross on a subway, New York subway floor. And then it's midnight.
And we're like, okay, it's gonna be here any minute, right?
And I'm still looking at the Dunkin' Donuts sign, like, ugh! But I knew the second I left that line, it was gonna show up. And then it's 12:30. And then it's like 1 o'clock.
This bus driver did not get here till probably like 1:30 a.m.
Yeah, 1:45, I think.
We were supposed to be...
The bus was 10 o'clock.
We were supposed to be leaving the station at 10.
Because
we were supposed to be getting back into Boston around like, probably like 2.
I think it was 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or no. No, because the bus was leaving like a half hour before we were supposed to get back.
Yeah.
So it was probably like, we were supposed to get back into Boston by like 2:30.
Yeah.
2 o'clock maybe.
And
because our parents were coming to pick us up at South Station.
Because the trains wouldn't be running.
The trains wouldn't be running at 2 a.m.
So
like my dad was going to come get me.
So we had to like keep them informed throughout this whole thing as we're sitting waiting.
I'm texting my mom and I'm like,
our phones are dying.
My phone, I have like 10% on my phone because I had a really bad phone back then.
Yeah, you did. Our phones were dying and we're so...
There's no outlet anywhere.
We're so bored, but we can't sit on our phones because they're going to die and we need to tell our parents what's happening. And we have so many hours to go before we're all going to start crying.
This was like the most traumatic experience of my life.
Literally.
But so, while we were sitting on that subway floor, we were like, you know whose fault this is? This is the entity's fault.
Yeah.
I can't believe all this is happening and it's all his fault.
We need to apologize to all these people here.
Yeah, it's all our fault that this isn't.
Because the woman said to us, like, this happens all the time, it's gonna be a minute, it'll probably be like midnight.
Yeah.
And it was so
much later.
So far past midnight.
Because we couldn't be on our phones, we had the time to think about this, and we were like, let's give the entity a name. We went through a couple different names.
Because we were half awake, insane, on the verge of tears.
Be on our phones, starving to death, so tired.
So tired.
Like, I swear to God, at some point, I know this is disgusting, but if you were there, you would have gotten it. I swear I was laying on the floor.
Yep.
Like, fully head on my backpack, but the rest of my body... Yep. Laying on the New York subway floor.
And you know what? We were fine.
And it was fine. I couldn't have cared less. Yeah. It was fine. And even now I'm like, no, I'd do it again. But...
So before we get into the naming, let's just round off the story.
Sure. But we went... Yeah, sure.
Just for closure.
Yeah, we're almost done.
We finally got a bus driver. We got on the bus.
We finally got on the bus at like 1:45 probably.
And naturally, we didn't get seats together. I don't
know how this happened. Because we were, like, towards the front of the line. I don't know how many people got in front of us.
We're small
Well, you want to know what happened? This is what happened. Because the bus was so late, the people who had bought tickets for the 1:30 a.m. bus were now in our line.
Yup.
So we had to pack into that bus.
And so we ended up on seats, like aisle seats next. So we were next to each other.
No, you were behind me. Or was I behind you? We were the aisle seats
from each other.
But yeah. We were the aisle seats, but not together.
But it didn't matter because we were both past.
Yeah.
Well, but we tried to, but I could not get comfortable.
Well, first of all,
I can't.
When we went and sat down, listen, this isn't us being sexist. This is us being safe. We did not want to sit next to men.
No.
We were like, this is scary. It's 2 a.m. New York City on some sketchy bus.
We're so far away from our homes.
I don't want to be next to a man. But so we get in, and there are like 4 seats left total, and 2 of them are next to these men. And that was the only choice. I will say, my guy was better than your guy.
I got stuck next to a very large man who took up not half of my seat, but like maybe the like quarter of my seat next to him. And he covered, the outlet was in the middle of our seats, so I couldn't plug in my phone.
Yep.
And he snored. And I was literally just crying the entire bus ride.
I will say,
trying to sleep. I was so uncomfortable. I was so miserable. I was so tired. I didn't need to relive this today.
The guy I was next to was a kid. He was probably in his 20s, like late 20s. And he ended up being like cute and cool, and like we didn't talk, so like he left me alone and he wasn't whatever. But he was using both outlets. Because he had his computer.
Dude.
He had his computer and his phone, and he had both plugged in.
Dude!
I know.
That's so inconsiderate.
I really do think he just didn't even realize.
There's no awareness.
But my phone was dying. And so, you want to know what I did? I pulled my laptop out, and I plugged my phone into my laptop, because it was dead. I had like 1%. And so, I was saying that I would just charge my phone until my laptop died. And then my laptop didn't take very long to die, but at least I had 10%. And so I had to like sit there awake because I didn't want my laptop to fall out of my lap, but I had to charge my phone. Yeah. And I couldn't go on my computer because there was no Wi-Fi.
Nope. Just in case you thought the first one was a fluke.
Yeah, no. There was no Wi-Fi on this bus either. But so I finally, after like 2 hours, I could turn my computer off and unplug my phone. And I ended up falling asleep. But
I was in and out of
asleep, quote unquote, because, again, sorry, but I'm not going to sleep next to a man. Yeah. That's scary. Yeah. Even if he seemed cool, I'm not gonna like go into a deep sleep.
It really, really sucked that we weren't next to each other.
Yeah. So it was like, God, literally half asleep, in and out for the next 4 hours.
Oh, no, it was much longer than that.
Oh, we had, because,
our original bus was straight from Boston to New York.
Yep.
But this one went I think, and it wasn't supposed to do this.
No.
I think it was because it had to overlap with the next bus, and we had weird people in here, that it went so far out of the way to like somewhere in Connecticut,
I think.
But so it was like 2 hours longer than it should have been. So we got back into Boston at like,
the sun had been long
like
up.
9 in the morning.
No, it was probably like 7. It was probably like 7 o'clock.
Okay, sure, 7 or 8?
7:30, yeah. But it was like the sun had been up for a very long time. Trains were running again. So we could have taken a train home, I suppose.
But your dad was already there.
My dad had been there. He had to like work in Boston, or he had to do something in Boston, so he was like already around.
And my parents had fallen asleep.
I get it.
And so I texted them, I was like, I'm here, come get me. And they were like, okay, be there when I'm there. Yep. I don't know.
I haven't left the house yet.
They left because we live like 40 minutes outside the city without traffic.
Yeah, we're like 45, I think.
And like it would have been traffic time by now.
Yeah, people are going into work.
So bless your dad's soul, he drove me home.
So my dad picked us up. We drove to Mansfield and then back to Cohasset. I didn't end up in bed until probably noon.
Yeah.
It was like probably noon.
I got home. And I went to my bed, and whatever I was wearing, like, I probably still had a bra on.
Oh, yeah.
And, like,
the pants that had touched the New York subway floor were now in my bed.
And I slept till dinner time.
Yeah, 100%. Because I had woken up at 6 a.m. on the Thursday, and then wasn't in bed asleep until noon on the Friday.
And I probably got home at like 11.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how the story ended.
That's just the worst example we have of Mike. That's the entity happening.
Oh no, we
haven't named him yet. Spoilers.
That's a very, very aggressive example, and it's only because we wanted to go do something fun.
Because we wanted something nice in our lives.
Nice and new and great, but that's our fault for wanting that. We've learned since
we
then.
blame ourselves for wanting to have fun.
That's where we've gotten to.
Because Mike, the entity, will...
So, as we're sitting on that disgusting New York floor at 11 midnight 4, like, we discussed this. And we had to reflect back on some purposeful names in our lives and decide what was best.
God, nothing seemed to fit because it had to be perfect because it's the entity. We don't know about like a gender or a name. Like we know nothing. So we're like, it could be anything. How do we tell this story without being really weird?
Going back to the beginning of freshman year.
Rewind.
Should I tell my 2 mini ones?
Go ahead.
So, twice throughout the first couple months of freshman year, for some reason you weren't there either of the time, so I thought I was crazy. Someone knocked on our door, and there was some guy, and I was
there one of the times it happened. Yes, for cream cheese.
The first time I was alone then.
Yeah.
And the first time, it was this guy, I opened it up, and there was some guy that lived in the building, just some boy.
This stoner-looking kid with long hair, a little scraggly beard.
Not long hair.
No, but like longer
like
than...
shaggy.
Yeah, like shaggy.
Light, it was like blondish. I think.
I don't remember. No, it was like brown. With this like gross, like patchy beard and like tired eyes.
Like, yup, stoner. He was a
stoner boy.
And I was like, hello, it was so late. And I was alone the first time, so I was like, what the hell? And he was like, hey, do you have any pickles? And I was like, no, which I was lying. I did have pickles. I think that's what he asked for.
When a strange boy knocks, you're gonna be like, no matter what he says.
Yeah. And then the second time you were there, and I was like, oh my god, it's the boy. And he, we didn't have
peephole.
People is what it's called.
Yeah.
We'd have a people freshman year, which was terrifying.
Yeah. So if anyone knocked, it could be anyone.
You were just always surprised by who it was. And the second time he asked for cream cheese.
I was there that time. It was like 10:30.
Yeah.
He comes knocking and asking for cream cheese.
He was definitely going around like knocking.
He went to every door. It wasn't. We weren't special. And then come November,
sure.
I think. A new Marvel movie was coming out. Was Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah, it must have been.
And so, us being freshmen who want to make friends, we put on our whiteboard outside the door a countdown to Thor Ragnarok coming out. And we would change it every day. And, at, like, probably, again, like...
No one had ever said anything about it.
God,
it was fine.
At probably, like, 9:30, 10 o'clock, we get a knock on the door. And we open it, and it's this boy, the cream cheese boy.
This pickle cream cheese stoner boy.
What? And we're like, hi.
And we're like, we don't have anything for you.
We're not going to give you our food. But he was like... Hey, do you guys like Marvel? And a lapse of thought, because I don't know who this man is, I was like, yeah, why?
Yeah,
and he was like, oh, the countdown on your whiteboard. And I was like, oh, yeah, I want to make friends. I'm a freshman. I'm like,
that's true.
And so for 5 minutes, he stood outside of our door and we were talking about like Marvel stuff. And then he went, hey, can I come in? And we were like,
sure.
I don't think he might not have asked. He might have just come in.
He just kind of scooted in. And then he didn't, like, come fully into the room, but we had, like, right next to the door was one of, our, like, drawer dresser things that with the TV on top of it. And he kind of walked in and he, like, sat on top of that. And it was chill.
And I was like, okay, so I shifted to my bed and I sat on my bed. And no, it was fine. It was, like, whatever. Because he seemed cool. He talked for a while.
We didn't know. We felt very safe. It was totally fine.
He was cool.
It was really chill. And we just continued talking about Marvel. It was great.
That boy was probably in our room for 3 hours?
Yeah.
More than that, 3.5.
And we had some great conversations.
He was fantastic. We talked about, like, life ambitions.
We talked about, we all talked about our majors as freshmen do, but then he talked about his life ambitions.
He wanted to open a bagel store, so.
And it was a great time.
It was great. He was very entertaining.
And then he was like, all right, well, see ya.
Yeah, and he left, and he never came back.
No.
Not in any meaningful way.
No.
Not like that.
No,
but
we should just share that one night together.
We did. It was great. If you hadn't guessed, this boy's name was Mike. And
we talked. He stayed with us.
He did, yeah. We talked about Mike. We would see him in the hallway, like very,
and he would
like
always
a lot.
say hi, like just in
Yeah,
passing.
he was
always
really
always
sweet.
say hi, and he definitely like used our names. He would be like, "Hi, Olivia. Hi, Amanda." It was like
he was
and
great.
I'd be like, "Hey, Mike."
Mike really affected us. But so Mike
if
clearly
this boy
affected us.
knew,
Oh,
I'm so sad. I want
Because
to see this boy.
after freshman year, he's gone.
No,
he was a freshman.
No, we saw him like
We saw him once in the hallway of Marsh. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Well, yes, but no. Freshman year, we talked to him at one point because we found out that we were both going to be in the same dorm the next year, and we were like, "Oh, cool. All right, Mike." And then we saw him like once in that building, and then never again. And we haven't seen him ever since.
He's just
gone.
So with that,
He does not exist.
with that, if you hadn't already guessed, we named our entity Mike.
Yeah, we named our entity after Mike. And
It was like after Mike, but it was also like it just felt right.
It just
the
totally
entity's
felt
name
right.
is Mike.
And honestly, I truly believe in my heart that boy was Mike. That
he was the physical manifestation of our entity.
Of our
Mike.
entity. Our entity was like, I'm gonna go screw with them.
If it wasn't him, then entity Mike was possessing him.
Yes, yeah, totally, yeah.
Like, or he influenced him in some way, because this weird, crazy stoner boy.
The fact that I think it's not possession is that he's just gone from the
he's
face
just
of the
gone.
planet
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And that's, like...
That's weird.
So we named him Mike.
So we have our entity Mike.
And we talk about Mike a lot. And Mike's been chilling.
Hush. We don't have to talk about it. If we talk about it, it'll get worse.
No, but... Yeah, we would get so scared. We'd be like, we haven't heard from Mike. You know.
Anyway. But no, but he has been relatively quiet the last like 2 years.
There's always like the little things happening throughout.
Yeah.
Then there's been a handful of like significant things that we could talk about, but we won't. And now this past year, I think Mike has really, either he's being really, really chill and nice and like, he's like, I know you guys are going through a hard time right now, or Mike caused Corona.
Yes, 100% yes. But I feel like it would have affected either of us more personally if he did.
I guess, yeah. Okay, you're right, don't talk about it. So, yeah, that's Entity Mike.
That's Mike. Mike is a thing.
Yeah.
So now we can reference Mike all the time, and you know what we're talking about.
We can talk about Mike more now, and maybe we'll tell some more Mike stories eventually in the future. Oh. But, like, it's chill.
It is. No, I'm not mad that he exists.
Yeah, he exists to cause us,
distress.
Yeah.
And you know what? I've come to terms with it.
But we don't hold it against him.
No, it's his job. Everyone's got a job. You do what you have to live. I get it. It's all right. I absolutely coexist.
He enjoys it.
We coexist. It's all right. Like, I respect him now. I think maybe he's calmed down a bit because we've totally accepted him, and, like, he's just our buddy now.
Wanted. But he knows that he still has to screw with us sometimes.
Oh, of course. Naturally. How else is he going to pay the bills?
And you know what? It's nice to hear from him.
It is. Occasionally something bad will happen, and I'll be like, good to know Mike's doing all right.
So, there's our crazy quirk.
That's our quirk for this episode.
We talked about him for a while, but this was a long time coming. Yeah. And we really needed to, you needed to hear the whole story.
You needed the New York story.
You needed to hear everything that led to his, existence and our awareness of his existence in our lives.
Yep.
So, Yeah.
And every time we have, like, a good day, like, something really good happens or whatever, we're always like, we're gonna get hit by a bus today. Like, something...
if something really, really good happens that, like, shouldn't have, we're like, oh, God, we're gonna pay for that one.
And occasionally we do.
Definitely. But it's usually worth...
Yeah, no, it's alright. I totally get it.
You have to accept that there are lots of pros and cons to life, and you gotta take the good with the bad.
Yep.
And you need that balance. So, here's to Mike keeping the balance.
He's a good boy. No, he's not. And we always, like, whenever we refer to Mike, we look up. But he's not up.
Oh, yeah.
We're
not looking up. We're just looking, like, up
around.
and out at just the space.
Yep.
Of everything.
Oh, Mike.
So
that was a very long time.
But that's one of our biggest quirks, so it should have taken the most time.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Okay,
so we were gonna do a big, creative writing one today.
But I didn't think we'd talk about Mike for 45 minutes.
Yeah, but we should have known.
Yeah.
And when we do this creative writing one, it's probably gonna take 45 minutes.
It's probably gonna take longer.
So, that'll be another time.
So we're gonna jump right to creative writing then. So I'm gonna read a random passage from my book, my journal, my New Year's resolution book.
Yay!
Do you want to pick a date?
Ooh, let's go with February 23rd.
Go later.
Let's go, okay.
I went until...
March 27th. You went until late April.
Until April 25th.
March 27th.
Okay. Oh God, the two that I've read are really messed up. Well, March 27th,
Disclaimer.
I wrote about a boy named Milo.
Oh, I like that name.
Uh-huh.
It's a sweet,
It
nice,
is, that's
soft
the point.
name. Don't hurt the boy.
That's why I named him Milo. Milo wears glasses and recycles and brings his neighbors baked goods at least once a month.
Oh God, where is it going?
He also likes to kidnap and murder boys.
Just boys? Just boys?
I don't know, I guess I don't remember writing this. He has a system, you see. He shows no bias with his victims. Age, race, physical features, none of that matters to him. He just takes them at random so as not to have any sort of pattern when he never gets caught.
The only pattern is the boy.
Is the other boys. I don't know why. He's always meticulous about where he hides the bodies and how he murders. No connection in between. Though everything about his meticulous life changes when he rolls the dice and kidnaps 16-year-old Daniel. Danny and his friends aren't going to let that happen so easily.
Wow.
Milo
is that
and
it?
Danny.
Is that it?
That's it.
Wow. Oh. Read that first sentence again.
Okay. Milo wears glasses and recycles and brings his neighbors baked goods at least once a month. He also likes to kidnap and murder boys.
Oh, what a wild notebook you got there.
I can do another one.
Do it, yeah. Yeah, because those ones you're not explaining anything.
No.
It's
I have
just
nothing to explain.
It's just that one page of writing. So
Every, page in this book could be a story. If I was ever, super, motivated to write someday, but I didn't want to write any of my stories, I would just turn to a random page in this, and I could totally write a story about it.
Yep.
That's what every single page
And
of this is.
that's such an awesome thing to just have.
Yep.
Now.
It's my little arsenal.
Build it, yeah.
Pick another date.
I'm gonna go early.
Okay.
January 21st. No, 22nd. That's my sister's birthday.
Okay.
Shout out to Mia.
22nd?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this one's gonna be sad. I remember this one being sad.
Jeez.
Okay, it's titled Ava. There's a little girl who goes and picks flowers every morning. Her name is Ava, and she lives with her grandmother in a cabin at the foot of a mountain. There are rolling green fields as far as the eye can see, some colored with millions of diverse species of flowers, every type that you could name. Ava wakes up every morning and takes a basket out to the hills and picks handfuls of every color until her basket is a rainbow. Next in her daily routine is walking to the top of the smallest mountain, or the tallest hill, and placing her rainbow atop the ground where her mother and father are buried. She's never sad about it. It's just all she's ever known. She skips along and places her flowers, saying good morning to her parents before walking down the hill and starting breakfast for grandmother. This is her routine every morning, rain or shine, and she's never questioned why she does it. And she's never questioned why she does it or why she started it until... ...
Sure. Yeah. Oh, that wasn't too sad.
That wasn't. I thought it got sad. I'm thinking of a different one. Yeah.
That was sweet.
Yeah.
I like it. It was nice.
I wrote it in pink pen.
Just to get the whole picture.
Yep. Okay, so we just drew another name.
Yep.
Who did you draw?
I drew Miguel.
What's Miguel about?
I'm gonna talk about him a little bit, just quick. Miguel, I sit and go into appearance
Sure.
in depth, so
That's
I'm
okay.
gonna describe him first. Miguel is slender and tall.
He's tall? I've never pictured him tall.
I wrote that, but that's definitely changed since
Yeah.
I've written that. That doesn't feel right. He has brown, tight curls that bounce with his head and caramel glazed eyes. He's also... I can't believe I didn't write this here. He's very freckly.
Nice. Like Charlie Weasley.
Yes. He is Mexican, and this takes place back in the day of things. I don't know. When, like, circus time was
Freak
happening.
shows.
Like, freak shows. Yeah, that
So
kind
like
of
the
stuff.
20s, 40s?
20s, 40s, yeah.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. And for reasons, him and his family sneak on up to America. And bad things are happening for some reason. I haven't gotten into details. I don't know. But his parents have to, like, leave him behind. They just need to get separated from him.
Sure.
And they literally drop him off at a circus.
Aw. I will say, what made you start writing this? Like, how did you start writing this? I said... I was like, hey, you should write something.
Yeah. And I was trying to think of a good type of theme.
You needed a theme, like a prompt word, that like I used to do back in high school. And I said, okay, circus.
Yeah.
Write a circus story.
And I said, okay, yeah.
Write a circus story, please.
So, Miguel has to try and figure out how to make himself, like, worth staying at this circus, because, like, he needs a skill, and he doesn't have any skills, so he's, like, trying to find skills and stuff. Yeah, I have written here, Miguel is kinda adequate at everything he does. He rotates between acts, trying lots of different things. He still can't, like, find the right place that fits him. He just tries. And, like, all of the people there, like, he, like, has a little thing with everyone where, like, they're all trying to, like, teach him their act.
I can see the montage.
Yeah, totally. So, yeah. He's just trying to find his place in the circus. And he'll find his thing. I think maybe he would be, end up better at, like, balancy type things, maybe. Like tightrope or maybe rings. Not like the, like, rings that are, like, suspended, but, like, throwing rings and stuff like
that's
that,
what I was
maybe?
picturing. Sure, I can see that.
Yeah?
He can be like a clown, but not without the clown makeup.
So, you think juggling?
No. He can do everything but juggle.
Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of all. I don't have...
There's no story.
I thought I had more.
He's basically a page in my book. Like, it's just a character you could write a story about.
Totally. The, like, other character I have in that same story, I have a lot more to say about him.
Is he in the thing, too?
Yes, I have him in there. So we'll talk about him someday.
You don't have to,
No, yeah, we'll talk about him someday.
Sure.
But that's Miguel. He's a sweet boy.
Aww.
But he's also very, like, sassy.
Anyway,
I think maybe our upcoming, our upcoming videos might have some spooky themes. Halloween's coming up.
Yay.
So I hope you were all staying safe, but still trying to, enjoy yourself.
Yep.
But stay safe and be smart.
With that, have a nice day. Have a nice rest of your day.